I don't really know how to. I've been trying to figure out how to um, begin this video. This is about paranormal number 2, basically. Stories, and it's so many. It's hard for me to even kind of, get it out. About things in our life, in my life, in my family's life. Let me straighten this up some more, y'all. That we seen paranormal or that we've been through. I don't know if it's a trait in our family, and I don't even know if it's a trait of things in people's family. It seemed normal to my family, but then I noticed other families don't have it now since I got older. And it's the sense of feeling, some say ghosts, some say spirits, around you and coming around, even maybe demonic spirits. I grew up in church, and my family on my father's side is very spiritual in church, and that's something that they will say is very spiritual. The Holy Ghost might have gave it to you. Some others say they were scared of, say it's witchcraft, and I'm not doing any witchcraft. My family are not doing any, which we're not doing anything. It's just a sense or of something, and something that comes to us, or some type of spirits that come around us. Not possession. There's nothing like that, because I find Lord and gave me and my family so much favor. Is ridiculous, and it's been a blessing, and I thank God for that blessing, that He's favored my family so. But I just got to eat some popcorn, y'all, so you know how the holes getting down your tooth. But anyway, the whole thing is that like my uncle, he used to have weird dreams, and I remember him telling about it. And I remember one time, he said he used to like be on a mountaintop. It's like he said he would have, but it would be so vivid and so real that it was really almost not a dream. That basically he had outer body experiences. He would leave his body. So even what made me believe this is because he was in the service. I don't know what war it was. I don't think it was Vietnam. I'm not sure. I don't think it was Vietnam at the time, because I don't know if he was old enough to go to Vietnam. I'm not sure. But this is my uncle, so it might have been. And my grandmother saying she was worried because she hadn't heard from him. And she had not heard from him, and she was just worried, and she was praying, and Lord, that she wanted to hear from him, and she just hadn't heard from him. And so what was strange, he said when he was in the service and he was sitting on, I guess they was having lunch in the camps, he said he felt himself leave his body. He was sitting there and he left his body. And what was so odd is my grandmother said she remembered him appearing to her. She said all of a sudden she was just like, she was so worried, she was praying about it, and she was so deeply praying about it, and all of a sudden he appeared to her, my uncle. And what was odd is my uncle said he like felt himself. He said, I don't know if she was praying at that time, I had that going on at the time, that he left his body. And when he left his body, he was sitting there, and he just totally left his body, and it's like his body went to his mother, my grandmother. And my grandmother said she felt so much peace when she seen him. She seen his, seen him body. He appeared in front of her, and she said she was comforted and felt so much peace. And I think later after that, he ended up getting a hold of her, contacting her, calling her later after that, and they had that conversation. What's so funny is my son, my oldest son, he was 3 years old. And my father was newly married to this lady, and they was having problems from day one. It wasn't right. The marriage wasn't right. But they both was in church, you know, they was trying to do right, get married, and, you know. And I was still living at home with my father. Even though I did have a son, I always, like, took care of my father. And I was living at home, and he married her and brought her in. But it was so much turmoil between them. I don't really know. I tried to stay out of that. I didn't really hear no arguing or anything, because I stayed upstairs while they were downstairs. But I was trying to, you know, eventually find me some money to move out so they could be together and not be there. But she didn't end up lasting long, and I ended up still staying there, and she ended up leaving. But I think they probably was together for a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? A year and a half. But my son, my oldest son, he was 3 years old. 3 years old. And she called me on the phone upstairs, because I had a different phone number. She was downstairs. She called me upstairs. We just got in the house. We was out hanging out all day. Me and my son, we was hanging out all day. She said my son came in the room, in her bedroom, her and my father's bedroom, sat on the floor, and he was playing. And she said he was sitting up there playing with something, and she was on the phone talking. But she said he was sitting up there playing, and while he was sitting up there playing, he said, now he was 3. He said, concentrate on your own marriage and mind your own business. And she was like, what'd you just say? And he was playing with his toys, and he was like, and he didn't look at her, concentrate on your own marriage and mind your own business. And so she was like, what? And he took off running. And she said he ran upstairs. So she called me and said that. And I said, I didn't say that to him. We've been out all day. We just got home. So nobody could have ever told him that. And I said, I didn't say that to him. So I said, I hope you don't believe I said that, because I wasn't into that. And how would he even know the word concentrate? So we tried to get him to say it again. When he got upstairs, I tried to ask him, try to say it. He couldn't say it. He didn't even know the words to say it. And he, like, know the word concentrate. So it was so weird how that even happened. And she was upset, and she said my father told him, but we had been gone. We hadn't even been home. So that was so freaked out about that even happened. And so for my oldest son to this day, my oldest son's 32, no, 33, 33, because we just had his birthday. If y'all seen my vlog, y'all know I went back to Indianapolis, and my baby boy turned 22, and my oldest son turned 33. And my oldest son always had stuff like my uncle happen. It's like stuff rubbed off on him. Oh, excuse me. So, mind you, I'm the type, I would have dreams, and the dreams would totally come true. I mean, I would have a dream about something, and it would just kind of stick with me, and then later that whole dream would come true. I mean, there's a situation about my ex-husband messing around, the whole scenario. And I told him about the scenario. I said, I had this weird dream about you. We went to a party, and there was a chick that you knew, and we both knew that, I don't know, you used to talk to, and all of a sudden y'all seen each other. It was odd, and it was an old girlfriend of yours or something. And all of a sudden you get mad at me because something about we seen her, and we was having a good time, and you walked out, and you started talking to her again, and you walked out, and this and that. And then was it months later that whole scenario happened. And it was with his ex-girlfriend, a chick that we knew. The whole scenario happened. And that just didn't happen more than once. That's why he used to be like, he said I used to scare him. He said I scared him. He like, yeah, family witches or something. Well, ain't nobody no witch. It was just like, Lord gave us that sight. And it would be odd because I would tell my mother stuff and I would have a good thing about people, and I'd be like, no, I don't feel them, something ain't right. And she would never listen. Like, I got friends, I would tell her, she would never listen. There's something about them ain't right, and I would be right every time. I would be right on the money. I remember I had a weird dream talking about, it was about some dogs. And my mother had her dog, and she loved her dog, and it was an older dog. And I told her, and it was just a weird dream. And it was two other dogs, it was a little younger, and they was around her and my mother, and they kept trying to attack the older dog. And my mama kept the older dog around her, but she had the younger dog, and it kept, well, the whole scenario come together. It was broken down. It was some women that she was working with, and it was an older woman that she was working with her. My mother had her own business, and she loved the older woman, and the two younger women who was working for some reason was plotting against the older woman, and they was just trying to do stuff to her and trying to get her fired and trying to get my mother not to like her. And it was so odd how it come, because I'm like, Mom, I had this dream about you and these dogs, and I don't understand, and I don't know why it stuck with me so about these dogs. And when the scenario with the women came about, it just flickered in my head about the dogs in the woman, how it all came together. It was just like confirmation, but it was just like these dogs. It was like her dog that she loved dearly, and these other dogs. It was just, it's hard for me to try to explain, but it just all came together. And so you have another story about my oldest son. Now, I remember we stayed in this apartment, and a lot of people talk about how they have something jumps on them in their sleep. And he said he was in the apartment when he was asleep. He was young, he was a teenager, and he seen something in the apartment, in his bedroom. He said all of a sudden, he said it jumped on him, and he jumped on his chest while he was laying there. He called himself, he said he was asleep, but he wasn't asleep. He said, I was not asleep. He said it jumped on his chest, and he could not holler or barely breathe. And he wanted to holler and get one of us to help him, but it was on him. He could not holler. And it was like on his chest, and he was like, he could not get it off him. And I've heard people have stories, and I've started seeing things on Facebook and stuff about that. And it was so odd when I seen and read them things, because I remember him telling me that, and it happening to him. Another story, and I got so many, and this is another one. Me, it was this lady I didn't care for, and because she was just so mean. And one day I had a dream. I'm like, the lady had a stroke, and I know a young girl that knew the lady. And I had a dream about this lady had a stroke, and she was just so mean, and she just had a stroke. So one day the young girl come to me, and we were talking, and I asked her about the lady. And she said, yeah, I went by and visit her because she had a stroke. And I was like, what? She said, yeah, I went to go see her because she had a stroke. And I was like, I had a dream. And see, a lot of these stories I don't tell people because a lot of people don't understand about the concept of what I feel about somebody. I remember going to my same my father's ex-wife, the one who was staying with us. After they broke up, she went to go stay with her mother. And she kept saying her mother was a witch, and her mother was devil and witchcraft, and this and this and that. So I hadn't seen her in a while, and she was staying with her mother, and she told me to come see her. And I was, really off deep in the church too. So I went to go see her, and her mother and them there. When I went to their house, y'all, I got so sick. Mind you, I had not been sick that whole time. I had left church and came up to her house. And I was getting nauseated. and she wanted to show me her mother's house. She was staying up there and show me the attic, and I was getting so sick that I was about to pass out. It was like I had to get out of that house. I was about to freaking pass out. So eventually we went on, and I got out the house. As soon as I got out that house, I felt better. I wasn't sick anymore. Mind you, I wasn't sick before then, but I was not sick anymore. And that to me was so crazy. So I know it had to be some type of spirits or demonic spirits or something in there. I don't know. But it was just so weird. And I'm gonna give y'all one more story, because I got so many. And eventually I might do a part 3 of stuff, you know. Yeah, because there's some stuff about my younger son, some stuff he done seen. Why he's even scared. He grown 22. He will not watch a paranormal movie. He will not watch a paranormal movie because of something that happened to him odd. And that's another day. I'm gonna tell a story about that. Something that happened to him odd, and it cracks me up, but he's still terrified to this day. So he don't watch paranormal movies. But I got one more story about my oldest son, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. My oldest son, one time, I had my niece and nephew spent the night. My little cousin spent the night, which was close to my son's age. And my boys and my mother, all of us, you know. And we was at the house, and my son was laying in the bed. Now, mind you, he smoked weed. So we figured he was high. He had smoked some weed or something. I don't know. But he said he was sitting up there and he heard something in his room. So he said he was playing or something, and he heard something in his room. He thought it was my niece came and jumped on his back. He said, all of a sudden, I figured she come and jumped on my back. And he said he heard, he's like, oh, what's up, Cam? And then he started hearing noises. He said the noises was like, he was like, Cam? And he's like, jumped on his back. And he said, all of a sudden he told us, which was funny, but it ain't funny. He was like, ooh, that ain't no Cam. That ain't Cam. So all of a sudden he said he turned over. Got to turn something. He said he seen something on the ceiling. And he said it's got to move it and make it some kind of shape. He said it terrified him. He took off running out the bedroom and went and found my mother, which is a prayer warrior. And he like, something in my room. So we was thinking, boy, you done smoked some weed and high and you tripping. But my little cousin, who is who stayed over, who is a minister, and be going to church, you know, and they was like teenagers, but he's definitely a minister now. He said they were in the other room, and my nephew and them was sleeping. He said something came in the room, and it was trying to jump on my nephew and my little cousin when they was laying in the bed, and he heard it, and it was the same thing, like and it was moving different. And he said all of a sudden he put his hand over my little cousin, and all of them in there said, I plead the blood of Jesus, and just got to praying over. I rebuke it and plead the blood of Jesus. I rebuke whatever it was and plead the blood of Jesus, and just got to praying on whatever it was left. Now, mind you, that's the only reason why we believe my oldest son. Because when that happened, my cousin came into the room later and got to telling us it was something in there, and he seen it and he prayed over all them. Yeah, so I'm just saying, it's something about our family. I don't know. It's crazy. It's different. And I used to have a real strong sense of it when I was really deeply in the church, like I was supposed to, and I still get a sense of it. But I just had to tell you them stories, and I got some more, so I might be doing a part 3, y'all. So I want you to know I might be doing a part 3. So, but I just wanted to really put that out there for y'all, so y'all can so I could give y'all some insight on who I am, because even with the comedy thing, me doing comedy, I never expected to do comedy. Never. But I used to have dreams about me standing on stage doing comedy. And I was at this big city, like standing on this mountain of this big city, because I come from a little city, Indianapolis, and looking above the city. And I was going to be doing like in commercials and doing acting and stuff. And also I would be standing on stage doing stand-up comedy. And I just thought that was weird, because I'm like, I would have that dream all the time, over and over. Never thought anything. Until now, I am standing up and I am doing stand-up comedy and be on stage doing comedy and be doing acting and stuff and on screen. I never expected it. I never thought it. I never anything, even though I was having them dreams, basically a confirmation of that happening. So, you know, you just got to trust God, believe God. It's all still amazing to me, odd to me, strange to me, but I just had to let y'all know that. It was just something I just wanted to just, you know, let people know and spit out and let people know. And I'm just trying to learn and understand the process. I still don't understand. I still don't know. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I gotta get up here because my son called me. He gotta go get his car worked on, and he needed me to follow him to go get his car worked on. But I thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. I appreciate you. Y'all stay blessed. And until next time, like I said, mess around probably gonna be a part 3. But I just had to let y'all know. But I appreciate y'all. And please, like I said, subscribe and check out my other videos. All right, y'all be blessed.